Seafoam.
Okay,
Looks
like we're live streaming.
There we go. Redirected. Out of there. Out of there. Come on. Go away. Zoom. Hello, Zoom. Now I can see what I'm doing finally. Hello and welcome to Cockatude. Cockatoos with attitude. Whoops, that's my face. Trying to look at this steeple bird. Hello, Aaron. Okay, we doing attitude again? What's this? Sitting there with her wings out. What are you doing? You're gonna sneeze on me now. See how you are?
Good afternoon, Don and Flock. It's Erin.
Oh, hey, Aaron.
Hi, Aaron. Hello.
Hey, Anna Maria. Hey, Eleanor. Hey, extended Flock family.
Oh, well, Pip
Wow,
was already
okay.
in timeout.
Oh, no.
Yeah, she went after Snowball. She's got a thing about him playing with those frisbees.
She had her eye on him in last Thursday, I want to say. She's definitely right in trouble when Bob is away.
She jumped on the floor, ran under the cage, and went right for Snowball. So I put her in the timeout cage.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's pretty aggressive.
What are you saying?
Oh, I said that's pretty aggressive.
Oh.
No, he's asking KK.
Oh.
He's talking to the KK because he was muttering.
Sweet KK.
Hey, KK. What are you doing? Yeah, I heard that. What are you doing? What are you doing?
You're a good boy, KK.
Yeah, I got that when he actually said, "What are you doing?" He said, "What are you doing?"
What are you doing?
Which Snowball says is, "What's doing?" He says, "What's doing?"
It's funny how people say the same things to birds. You know, a lot of birds have the same things that they repeat. Hey, good boy, good girl.
Help, they turned me into a parrot.
Right.
Those are the good phrases. The ones that you don't want to hear are the ones that yeah.
That's true. That's true.
First one was what Bob used to say. Make
Bad
it
Bob.
Stop. No, he said, "Make it stop, make it stop."
Oh,
In a horrible exorcist kind of sound. Straight from Reagan on Reagan going down the stairs. What are you doing? So Pip was in timeout. I don't know how long it'll take her to figure out that she can't just immediately come in and try to stop Snowball from playing with the frisbees.
right? Hopefully not too long.
Yeah, so I don't know how she became territorial about frisbees. It's honest behavior.
Unless she just says, "Hey, you're having too much fun over there."
Maybe she thinks he's fighting with the frisbees and she thinks she's helping him.
What are you whining about?
Those frisbees did nothing to you.
What are you whining about? Put your face down here if you want to get petted. You've been a wild girl lately. Yes, you have.
Hard to believe, but it is. Oh, Shuggy. So much Shuggy attitude.
I went to give her medicine today, and she was on the bottom of her cage playing with toys, and she looks at me like, "Don't bother me right now." Go
Oh,
away, boy, I'm busy.
so
And
cute.
somebody's replaced Sugar with an imposter.
Mm. Sugar, are you kind of Benjamin Button bird, like from elderly lady now to super young teen Sugar or something like that?
Do you look like Brad Pitt? Are you Brad Pitt? And here I thought Bob was Tyler Durden. Yeah, one of the reasons I had to rush to get in here today is I had Bob out till 11:15, and then still had a lot of work to do in here before I got him out. So I had to get all the cameras set up and all that stuff. I tried to keep him out as long as I could.
He was having a good time though.
Yeah, he was playing on the floor.
Little busy boy.
Not his usual stick, you know. He likes to sit by me, but he's learned that he can't do that. He learned that fast. Some things it takes forever for him to learn, but that one he picked right up. Once in a while, he'll try to get around it. But yeah, I'm not petting her enough, so she spring herself. I want all your attention, or you can just go away. Pippa, what are you doing in there? What are you doing in the cage?
Talking with Steve that she is such a misunderstood bird.
Yeah.
What are you doing, Pippa? Pippa. She says, I'm doing a circuit. Round, round.
It's like, oh, those
Yeah, I've had-
frisbees, let me at them.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been having problems with my vocal cords lately. I can't, my voice has been real scratchy. I found a solution for it, but hot peppers tends to bring my voice, really hot ones. Nice hot pepper. And what it seems to be is that some of the cockatoo dust is just hanging on my vocal cords now.
Yeah,
But if I,
hot peppers are good for congestion.
yeah, I remember though I was eating, I forget the name of the restaurant. There's a place in California. There's a lot of these little restaurants where you go in and you make your own hamburgers. Yeah. They'll bring you the buns and they bring you the burger, but you go around and you get all the other fixings. And I was with a couple of salespeople. It's always fun to be around salespeople because they'll always try to one up each other, even in a normal conversation. So one of them takes a bite of the pepper. These are the little peppers I like, and he just freezes in space, stops moving. There's no look on his face at all. He's kind of gone blank, and then he starts choking. And so he's choking. His eyes are turning a little bloodshot, and he goes, "Wow!" Finally says, "Wow." And so the other salesman says, "Oh, come on, you wimp." He takes a pepper. He's choking and wheezing and gasping, and they're like, so they obviously trying to one up each other. They didn't succeed, and then they look at me and almost in unison they go, "Aren't you going to try one?" And I go, "Are you kidding? I like hot peppers, but I don't like to choke." I might have been able to handle it. I mean, but having had the hot pepper from Hades once, I had made the mistake of telling this guy I worked with. I was just a young kid, 19 or 20, and this guy Paul Razzo, he says, "You like hot peppers, I see," and because I was eating these little gorditos, I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "Do you like them really hot?" Didn't even register in my brain. I go, "Yeah, I do." So the next day, he brought me this little butter dish, and these little plastic butter dishes, a little lid on it. And there were 3 hot peppers in there. And he goes, try those out at lunch. So I bit into it. I got one of them down, and they were pretty good. They're hot, but they weren't killing me or anything. My wife goes, you better go look in the mirror. And I said, what? She goes, you better go look in the mirror. So I go in there, my lips are purple. There's no more white in my eyes. It's all red. My ears are purple. And
It's never good when someone tells you to go look in the mirror.
Yeah.
not after eating peppers. So I get back to work, and I said, hey, Paul, those were pretty hot. And he says, you ate one, huh? And he showed me the can. It was the peppers from Mexico, but there was no brand label on it. There was nothing, just a little picture, like the date of production was stamped on it. That was it. There's a picture of a little boy sitting on steps and with a dog next to him, and he's crying. So Paul comes up a little later and goes, you think it's bad now? Wait till the fire station has, the 4 fire alarm goes off. Wait until you have to go to the bathroom.
It's gonna hurt twice.
That was misery. So when they, said, aren't you going to have one? I just remembered that incident and said no, but I probably could have done it because I was eating those hot peppers all the time. I used to eat them with cheese, but I'm too old for that now, right? What do you say? What do you say? What do you say, big boy? What does that KK say?
So if
These guys could.
If there was no brand name on the jar, did they just come from some like random grandma's garden or something?
No, I guess in Mexico everybody knows that. They know that can. They know what's in it. You don't have to. It's one of those word of mouth things, where you turn to somebody and say, "Have you ever tried these peppers?" And there's flames coming out of your mouth. They have hotter ones now. Things like, I guess the hottest one, there may be something hotter now. It's called the ghost pepper.
Yep, I've heard of that.
It's like 500,000 heat units. I mean, I do cayenne pepper at 160,000 heat units. But
I think like the ghost pepper, you have to be kind of careful because I think you can die. You don't even have to be allergic to peppers to like die.
Yeah, you just choke to death. That's the thing. You have to be careful. One of these guys could probably eat them. They don't react to them. They don't have the taste buds. Don't even recognize them. They eat peppers in the wild. That's something they eat. But no, I've never had any desire to eat a ghost pepper or one of those varieties.
I think there's one hotter than the ghost pepper, isn't there?
There's people.
It's called like the Grim Reaper or something.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. They're constantly trying. Every year they have a contest to see who can breed the hottest pepper. But well, I don't know. You have to tell me all about it because I'm not sure what you're saying. What are you saying?
He's telling you about the hottest pepper he ate. He wants to one-up you.
They like them. I put peppers in their food. They'll eat those first. I don't give them peppers that hot, but they like.
But just a little something to spice it up.
Yeah, fry up some jalapenos. They love them.
You know those Kitech baked, the little like baked, they're not pellets, they're like little treats. I'm not being very specific.
I know. I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I think I've seen them. Yeah.
I got them for my birds before. Well, they smell pretty good, so I tried one. And there's definitely like you can see the ingredients too, but you can taste the cayenne. Like there's heat in those things. They don't taste half bad.
Yeah, the Harrisons, they have the pepper variety. It's not like bell peppers. We're talking really hot peppers. And if your birds are having trouble eating the Harrison pellets, just give them the pepper ones. But they're out of sight on price now. So, but like $125 if you could find them in stock somewhere, but if you have to pay the freight on them, you're talking 175 for 25-pound bag. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's hefty. With so many beaks to feed.
Yeah, if you had just one bird, you could probably get away with it. But I used to feed them that, but you really have to have a little more income to do that. And they love those pepper ones, boy. And I try their food. I would never give them anything I haven't tried. Grind one of those up and put it in your mouth. That's kind of like putting in the hot peppers I put in. I was surprised at how hot they are. But they love them.
Yeah, it's pretty cool the way their tastes work, that they have such a high tolerance for that stuff.
Yeah, they have about 330 taste buds, somewhere in that range. We have 3,300 roughly, which is why we eat junk. Yeah, we eat junk and they don't. And it's like, that doesn't taste good to me. There was one lady who, I think it was on Facebook a long time ago, who was saying, I wouldn't give these pellets to my birds. I've tasted them. They don't taste good. You know, so I just wrote back and said, what? You have the taste buds of a dinosaur? You know what tastes good to them? I said, do you know what tastes good to dogs? You don't leave your cat box out, because we know what tastes good to dogs.
Oh my God. Yeah.
You can't have a cat box around a dog. They'll eat it. You know, it's just like, nah.
You might not see it happen, but when the dog comes up to you with that little bit of litter stuck to its nose, you know what's happened. You know what went on.
Yeah, just about as bad as that movie, as good as it gets, with Jack Nicholson. When the dog goes down the trash chute and ends up eating poop in the dumpsters. But these guys generally won't eat bad food unless they're they've been raised in such a situation, or they've been stuck in a situation where they didn't have good food to eat.
Yeah, that's true.
Are you having fun chewing on my hand? Want to chew a little more?
So it looks like we're heating our chatters by what we're talking. So we have Lisa Banerjee here in Falcon Zoo, and Lisa says she cannot eat such a hot stuff.
Me either.
I had a
I'm out too.
I don't do marriage well, but in one of my marriages, there was my stepdaughter was just, I'd make tacos. I'm a good cook, so I make tacos, enchiladas, a lot of Mexican food too, a lot of variety, but Mexican food as well. And here I am, I'm taking salsa brava, which is supposed to be hot, sauce of the brave. It's not that hot. To me, that's a mild sauce, but and I was eating hot peppers, and this girl's like, and I kept saying, try it. So she tried a little. After about a year, she was, you didn't buy enough salsa brava, and we need more peppers. She became a total addict to all the hot stuff. She was just pouring them. She'd use a half a bottle. When I buy the big bottles of salsa brava, she'd put half a bottle of it on there and be eating those little gordita hot peppers all the time while she was eating her tacos.
A true convert.
You can definitely build up a resistance to it.
Yeah. And it's good for your circulation. They don't have as much stomach problems in Mexico, and they eat a lot of peppers. Maybe that's why. Who knows?
Yeah.
Could be the beans too, but
or both.
Yeah, and when I cooked, I can't cook for some of the ways I used to with the birds around, but because I used to use hot oil, and once you have birds, you can't cook with hot oil unless you have some ventilation system where the oil doesn't get in the air, or you cook outside and wave the bugs away. But I make the taco shells myself, and make the enchiladas. I would take the tortillas, throw them in the hot oil, get them nice and hard, then throw them in the sauce and let them soak it up, and then fill them up with various items and line them up. Make 36 at a time.
That sounds good.
I'm sure they would like them, because you can make them with like PVP instead of using a textured vegetable protein, instead of using meat, because they don't eat meat. You could use that. You have to leave the cheese out, so I guess you'd have to use some of that fake cheese, but you still do it. you can afford that cheese. Good grief, they try. You can buy 2 pounds of cheese for what you get 6 ounces of the fake cheese. They
Yeah.
can't have the cheese though. But they would like the lettuce and the beans, wouldn't you? Hmm? Yeah, they get the benefit of my cooking. And they really seem to be, not all of them yet, but most of them like the cookies. Mander can't have a cookie till he's eaten some edamame, but he's out with me in the mornings now because he comes out in the afternoons with me. But yeah, tell me all about it. I can't usually talk while I'm hammering in my head. I can't. Cecil, what are you doing over there? Cecil's covering his face up. What's going on? Pippa, I'll let you out when I'm not holding a camera in my hand. Just a little too wild. You can be out for the next 2 hours after the meeting.
When you have 2 hands ready.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, that's the thing. It's not safe if she's going to be in that kind of a mood.
Yeah. Tritons require free hands and a super focused mind. Oh, it looks like KK is hammering on you again.
He was. He just stopped. He's checking. So what are you looking at? Oh, he's looking at Pippa in the cage.
Mm. Yeah, Lucy's watching you.
Hi, Luce. Hi, baby.
Mm.
Yeah, when I stopped eating cheese and meat and all that kind of stuff, there are certain things I miss. There's a few Mexican things you can't have that require eggs. I like Mexican food. I like Indian food. Of course, I don't know if it would be tough for me if you put them side by side. These guys like Indian food too, but you got to keep them away from the turmeric. Oh, it does something to their poop. They can't digest it. It comes out smelling horrible. Not all of them, just some of them. It's kind of like some people eat beets and the urine turns red. I'm one of those people. Some people it doesn't do that, but the people who can't process the coloring, it just comes out. With these guys, it's the smell, not the color, So
I didn't know
I found
that. That's
out.
interesting.
Yeah, people. It's the big buzzword now too. Turmeric cures everything. Nothing cures everything, and
That's a fact.
you could say watermelon cures some things. It's kind of silly,
Yeah,
but
thirst.
yeah, it does cure thirst. That's true. It does. What are you doing down there? So they give birds things like that because they say, "Oh, this is really good for them." First of all, have you checked with your avian vet to see if it's a safe item? Can you give that to your bird? And do you know that you're giving them what the label says is on there? Because in the United States, the labels aren't accurate. You don't know what you're giving your bird, but
Were you talking about milk thistle? Isn't that the one that commonly has rhubarb?
yeah, they found rhubarb in it in one of the companies that produced it in New York when the New York Attorney General looked into it. They just went on a shelf and bought a bunch of items, and then they took them to the lab and used a gas spectrometer to find out what was actually in them.
And then
Some of
upon
the
finding out that they didn't always have what they said was in them, they proceeded to do nothing at all.
That's right. They did nothing at all because of that 1933 law. Which basically gives these people who say that they're giving you these, what do they call that? I can't think what they call them now. It's a stupid
Supplements?
word. Supplement, right? if it's a supplement, and as long as they put on the label, it's not approved by the FDA, and it's not meant for any medical purpose. As long as they put that in there, they can put dog poop in there. I think you can get away with it.
And we wouldn't even know because there are really rarely tests done to see whether or not that's happening.
Yeah, if you're buying your herbs from someplace like the Spice Barn online or whatever, where they just have powdered herbs, that kind of thing. And as long as you're not buying a mix, then if you order turmeric, you're going to get turmeric. But that's where I used to get my cayenne pepper, my 160. They don't have any right now, and I don't know why. But I've got enough to last me a year, so I'm not worried about it. But.
Nice.
And I cook with it. They like their Lorelai likes her beans to have some of that hot cayenne in it. Okay? Tell me what you said again, because I didn't hear you the first time. What was that? What was it? Are you gonna climb up on my arm now? Is that what you're gonna do?
And Spirit Matter joined us.
Hey, Spirit Matter.
To keep that up, I'm going to use a quote from Real Genius. I guess we'll hammer later. What are you doing?
Oh my KK.
Yeah,
When he
some
gets
people might
going, he just keeps going.
Mhm.
yeah, some people might call that abuse. Hi, what are you doing?
Grandpa Woodpecker.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's doing.
I see some. Yes, KK, I know you're there. Believe me, I know. You're a big silly bird.
He's still hammering away.
Yeah, there's a lot of things you can give these guys. Peppers are good to add to their food if you really want to try to get them to try something. Most parrots are going to go for the peppers. If they've never been exposed to it before, it may take a while, but once they taste it. Right, Cecil? No comment, Cecil? You're awfully quiet, Cecil.
We must be planning something.
It looks like
Careful.
the bird from Lisa Banerjee, Rico, doesn't like his dried peppers. He always throws them out of his bowl, I guess.
Well, try the peppers that aren't dry. Get some jalapenos and cook them up. That probably will work better. Yeah, they don't. The dry ones are. I don't generally put dry pepper in my mouth unless it comes on a pizza.
Yeah, same.
So
They might
you
like
just
the
cook up
tactile.
jalapenos.
Yeah, but maybe
Yeah.
Rico just decided he doesn't like them.
That is also possible.
Dry peppers.
Oh, he's just being a naughty boy.
Yeah, some birds are just really special.
Right. Or maybe he just didn't want the peppers at that time, because I know my parrot will also just throw things that she's eaten before, but if she doesn't want it at that time, floor.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I do. If it's on my plate and I don't want it, I just throw it on the floor. Heck with it.
You're living as one with the parrots.
Yeah, there was one lady, I never got to see the situation, but she had 6 parrots, and then when they had dinner, they all sat around the table. I can imagine what that was like. You have to mop out afterwards, right?
And sugar her Dumbo ears out.
That's such a good way to describe that, Anna Maria.
Yeah, that's from Eleanor. But
Oh, Eleanor, that's a great observation.
It
Yeah,
is
that's-
cute.
perfectly
Oh, good.
describes how she looks.
Mhm. Adorable.
because Sugar always had this really special kind of way to put her feathers out. And then I think Eleanor was the first we started to call it Dumbo ears because it kind of looks like that.
It does.
So cute.
And Spirit Matter writes in chat, cayenne pepper is a topical anesthetic, good to sprinkle on hot water with lemon and honey, soothe a sore throat.
Yeah, anything with
Capsaicin?
Thank you. Anything with that will definitely work. That's why I love hot peppers. I used to eat them with cheese, but I can't do the cheese anymore. So I can't. There's a recipe in one of my book called Vegan Planet, and I'd never tried it before. It's to make mayonnaise, but it's not really mayonnaise because it's made from firm tofu and with wine vinegar and some dry mustard and some oil, a small amount of oil. We're talking, I make a double batch, so it has 6 tablespoons of oil, but there's 16 ounces of tofu in there. And that is really good. And it's somewhere in between mayonnaise and cream cheese in the flavor, somewhere in that area. And it goes really well with those peppers. So, and then instead of just eating a whole bunch of fat with, with your sandwich, you're eating protein. So.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, it takes about 5 minutes to make it. It's real. Lasts in the refrigerator for about 5 days. Well, yeah, with me, maybe not quite so much, but
I might need that recipe. I've been trying a lot of new things lately, so that sounds good.
it actually, and I've always been an addict to mayonnaise, so you buy the vegan mayonnaise. All they do is leave the egg out. You don't even need egg to make mayonnaise. So you make it yourself and you can save a lot. They want like $7 for 32 ounces. That's insane. It's just oil, oil and something to like agar to help thicken it up, and you just pour it in slowly. And that's the only problem with mayonnaise. You have to pour it in. I don't have a blender, so you got to have a blender going, and then you got to pour the oil in a thin stream. But it's not hard. You can't make it when there's a storm, though. It will not set at all, no matter what you do. You just end up with a mess.
Oh, like if it's humid? Is that or the barometric pressure or something?
But yeah, when the barometric pressure gets low enough where you have like thunderclouds and that kind of you can't make it.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I took a class in health food when I was in my early 20s, and she said, try it sometime. Don't try to make a big batch, but try to make like a really small batch of mayonnaise. It doesn't set. It just, the oil separates. It never works.
That's
but
good
with
to
this,
know.
it doesn't really matter. You're still putting the oil in kind of slowly. It's not like you have to drip it in, but it's really good. I'm surprised. I looked at it many times. I just don't see how that would taste good, but it does. Hey. Wow. You're a nut. You are. I always get a kick out of mayonnaise when you see it in the stores. It's made with real eggs. Well, there aren't many eggs in there. It's mostly oil, so like 1 or 2 eggs. So made with real eggs, or made with ground-fed chickens. You've seen some of these chickens that have been loaded up with steroids that can't even walk on their own legs. But they're ground fed. They can't get off the ground.
Yeah, when you're
What do you
immobile, it's easy to be ground fed.
Yeah, that's kind of what Peaches was. She was ground fed.
No, she was trolley fed.
Yeah, like to eat off the top of lids.
I don't have a
She
little
did learn
hostess trolley.
I had some of the perches high enough where she could lean over into the bowls in her cage like that. But, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. I'm not going to step on you. It's okay. I see you. You're all right. Come on. Go ahead. I moved my foot and it spooked you. I'm not going to step on you. He's because he hangs by the door when I'm coming in and out. So he's always wary of my feet. Aren't you, Snowball? I have yet to step on you. There he goes.
It's always ready to dash out and get to Lorelei.
Oh, he's way too popular.
Well, the men folk won't leave her alone.
And she's the only neuter bird we have. She just kept laying eggs. And I had to take her down, and Dr. Jenkins said, that's a long process. Oh. 45 minutes, and then there's about 20 minutes of prep getting the bird taped down and under general anesthetics, and the anesthesiologist / nurse has to get everything set up, and the doctor comes in, and then there's just a ton of work to that. There's 5 little clips that have to be put in there. Actually, Jenkins is 2 or 3 of them. He's found a way to seal them up without the clips, because sometimes the clips come out. He has another technique, but 45 minutes under general. He's never lost a bird doing that, but I don't know. I really have to trust a vet to have him do that surgery.
Right. Essentially, because it is so high risk, even with a good vet, you just never know. It's like you really wouldn't want to do that unless you were having those kinds of issues, right? Where they're just continuously laying eggs. They could lose a lot of calcium that way.
No, it can kill them too. I mean, they can get egg bound and die.
Egg bind. Yeah.
Get infections inside and stuff. So she was doing that too, Pippa over there, and he goes, my timeouts lasted a little long time. I know, baby. You'll be out later. Can't keep an eye on you and hold the phone this way. But eye surgery is another one where they have to have an anesthesiologist / nurse there too. Because when they're doing the eye surgery, although it's not life-threatening, the anesthesia is. You can't do it. One person can't do it. They don't do well under anesthesia. It takes expert work. The only thing worse would be marine mammals are the only thing that's worse, actually. A marine mammal, every surgery should be done with them wide awake and locals only. So.
Isn't it like 1 in 3 of every anesthesia on a marine mammal will kill them like off the bat, regardless of what surgery they're doing? It's some insanely high number like that.
Yep, that's why Dr. Zelix works at, I forget which one, but she works out of a university, but she also works with marine mammals for just that reason. She trains them to be able to take the surgeries, and then she trains the vets to be able to do it too, because
and they can do blood draws and all sorts of stuff. Without the trauma of being bound down to something or put under general.
Yeah. Did you see that video yet with Zelig's course where that one person is working with the hyena and taking blood from them inside the cage?
Just amazing. Just amazing.
Yeah, because that's an animal you don't want to mess with. Those ones in zebras you don't want to mess with.
Yeah, zebras. Yes, they might be the cool looking horses of the African plains, but they are not domesticatable. They are just not that kind of animal.
And just because they're prey animals doesn't mean they're not dangerous.
Right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And Lisa has a question in chat. She would like to know if a parrot can catch human colds.
No. There's the only transmittable disease that I know of, which is psittacosis, also called chlamydia. It's a form of chlamydia. That's the only one that's transmittable, and bird flu, of course, which parrots won't have that. But that's the only two. Bird flu and psittacosis. And bird flu would be pretty rare. That would mean you were out messing around with chickens somewhere.
Is bird flu, is it not that, yeah, that it's pretty rare that it transmits from bird to human?
Usually it's by, the birds get it and then somebody eats it. That's, they sit down to a chicken dinner. But it can be transmitted aerosol, and certainly psittacosis can.
But isn't it really the process of eating, or rather handling, with the uncooked animal?
From what I understand, it can be by eating or handling, because it's transmittable in feces, kind of like the hantavirus.
Okay, so if it's not adequately washed and stuff like that, because I was thinking when it's heated hot enough, then usually the whatever virus or so is destroyed.
There's the thing: heated. People in this country don't know how to cook. The average person here wouldn't know what 165 degrees was, which is in Fahrenheit what you have to get whatever you're cooking up to guarantee you've killed most of the microbes and viruses and stuff. But I actually knew some people that didn't know that rule, and they cooked something and didn't get the temperature up, and they were up all night just coming out both ends. It's just, they just don't. I mean, that's what these little $20 portable thermometers that you point and click can do for you. I mean, it can save you from some real sickness.
That's a fact.
For the bird, if you're going to feed them warm food, you always should check with a thermometer, and they aren't expensive. And when I cook them their food in the morning, it has to go past 165 degrees, all the vegetables, and I have a new recipe that works pretty good too. I'll have to. I can get some time to make some more videos, but what I'm doing now is I'm taking vegetables, cooking them, and then I'm putting them in I make a gravy, and basically it's just a roux paste gravy, 1 cup of gravy that I add a little bit of Bragg's amino acid to give it flavor, and then I throw the vegetables in it, and they really like it. And I left out the fact I put pellets in there, of course, too, but it's actually pretty tasty. I taste it. It tastes like gravy, even though I put a bunch of pellets in there too. That Bragg's really does flavor things well. So, and it's really easy to make. I mean, I say easy. I know that if you're not a cook and you're trying to make a roux paste the first time, you're probably going to end up with just a big ball of gunk in the pan. But you need to take you're taking, like, I use 3 tablespoons. It has to be a harder margarine. This is a palm-based margarine, but it's got to be. You can't use a soft one that has a lot of water in it. It isn't going to do the job. So you need something that's meant for cooking. Can't use butter, of course, with them. And then you melt that down, and you add flour to it, and you mix the flour and you brown it until the flour turns kind of tannish color. It'll just start to darken, and then you slowly, and that's the key, I add soy milk to it, and just slowly mix the soy milk. And having fun down there, kid? And then you let it thicken. It's going to get to just under boiling, and it's going to become thick. Then you throw the vegetables in it and mix that up. And then once the temperature drops to below 130, you can add the pellets into it and add a little bit of Bragg's. And they really like it. It's a lot less complex than what I used to make, but they really like it.
It sounds good.
Yeah, it sounds versatile.
Yeah, it's the same kind of thing. If you make something like biscuits and gravy, you can do the same thing. And I've done it. I've actually given people that, and they're like, "Well, how'd you make this gravy? You don't eat meat." Because it doesn't have any meat in it. But you can't tell. I mean, when you use that, it ends up tasting like you actually took the juice from meat, whatever was left over, which they call it that, but you know what it really is. And it tastes just like it tastes just like it.
Oh, my Jasmine flapping in her sleep. That was cute. I just saw it on YouTube replay.
Oh.
She did little flaps while she had her eyes closed. Oh,
Another
probably
thing that
dreaming of flying high.
Another thing I made that they really like, which was by accident, but I was making some. Again, it was a basic roux paste like that, right? And then I said, well, they like peanut butter, so I threw a cup of peanut butter in there, and I went, well, they really like pumpkin too, so I threw in 2/3 of a cup of pumpkin, and I mixed it up, and I looked at it and go, God, that looks just like cheese sauce, and I tasted it, and I went, add a little bit of pepper. I wouldn't do the pepper for the birds, but you can put in a little cayenne pepper or something. It tasted just like cheese. You put that over noodles, and it tastes just like cheese noodles. And they like the flavor of cheese, so they go nuts for that. I don't want them to eat too many noodles, but once in a while I make it for them, and they really like it. So it's my cheesy noodles with no cheese in them. And the flavor is so close, I can't tell them. In fact, I had a friend over once, and who's vegan, and I put that out for dinner as a side dish, and she got all upset. She goes, "You're vegan. You don't eat cheese." All right, there's no cheese in there. And I said, "Take a bite of it." She takes a bite. She goes, "There's cheese in there." No, there isn't. It's pumpkin and peanut butter. What? Totally by accident, but I mean, it's better. I mean, it's like you took real cheese and did it. And I used to make my noodles and cheese with like 4 different cheeses in them and stuff. So, but it's good. They like it. They like noodles too, so it's a good combination if you got birds that aren't eating. I wouldn't mix any pellets into it though. It'll be too grainy if you do that. But
it's a question for the ages why parrots like cheese so much. Because it shouldn't make sense.
It shouldn't, should it? No.
Maybe it's just kind of like how we like salty, fatty things, because evolutionarily speaking, that would pack on a lot of, energy, surplus energy. So maybe parrots also have that.
Yeah.
Even if they were not exposed to cheese historically.
Yeah. I think that's what they're getting for their treat tonight. Now that I've thought about it, I'm going to make them some cheesy noodles. I've got the pumpkin. I've got the
I love
peanut butter.
that cheese talk, but I have not a piece of cheese left in my fridge. That would be a tough evening.
You got pumpkin and peanut butter?
No and no.
Oh, good grief.
Why do our lives always devolve to discussions of cheese?
Yeah, I know we had them quite a lot time ago. Basically, every live stream we talked about some kind of cheese. I had yesterday cheese on my toast, so grilled in the oven.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the very German meal toast Hawaii, which is like toast with ham, a piece of ananas, and then cheese over it, and that made in the oven.
Yeah, that sounds very German.
So, someone has called it Hawaii, but it's only a thing in Germany, so it's like.
Yeah, sounds good though. Minus the ham for me, at least.
Good.
They haven't come up with a good substitute for ham yet. That bugs me. That and can't think of it now.
Yeah, fish. I haven't seen a good one for fish either. But
yeah,
red meat and chicken.
Fish is difficult.
Right, the texture. Hard to duplicate.
to copy. So when the last which information I got about these artificial made meat, they said that fish is a lot more complicated. So I think they are a lot further when it comes to, you know, producing some kind of usual meat. So like in a steak or so, I think that's for them now manageable. And in some countries like Singapore, so they're already pretty in the business and starting through.
That's pretty cool.
Mm. Oh, look at that cute bird down there.
He's trying to decide, do I keep the 2 toys I have or do I want the rattle ball? I'll keep these.
Decisions.
Getting these guys to eat is difficult, you know, so you have to change it up. They do get bored with things after a while. Right now most of them are going for the cookies I'm making, which are actually pretty good for them, but they'll get bored of that. So if tonight I give them the cheesy noodles, then it'll help them to keep eating the other things. I've noticed with Cecil, he now goes for the edamame. First he goes for the peanut butter that covers the birdie bread. Then he goes for the edamame. Then he eats the cookie. And later on he goes back for the bread. And then he'll nibble on the vegetable mixture here and there. But sometimes he goes for that first, but it's rare. Just because I think he just gets tired of the same flavors. That's the only problem with pellets. You're giving the birds the same flavor every day. So I give them a lot of variety in pellets, but also other things where the pellets are embedded so that they still get the nutrition.
Right. And it's much easier to change up the flavor profiles when the pellets are, you know, like a base part of the cookies or the muffins or the bread or whatever you're making.
Yep. I'm making bread now, and some of it I make like a loaf for me and a loaf for them, but I have to win the lottery or something to get one of those bread machines where you can, you know, they're like $300, something that actually does the kneading for you. It's not that I mind it. It's probably good for my hands to do that kind of work, but it takes, when you're doing bread, it takes about 10 minutes to knead it. And at first it's really soft, and towards the end it's really hard to knead. So you're spending 10 minutes kneading, and then you got to put, then you have to let it sit in covered until it doubles in size, and punch it down and knead it again, and then punch it down again. It's the kneading part that slows you down. So I really need to make bread. I actually should be making it today, but I don't know if I have time.
And the trouble with kneading as well is while you're doing it, when you've got all the dough all over your hands, if something comes up and you need to stop, it gets a big pain.
Yes, that's true. My solution for that is I have the nitrile gloves on when I do the kneading. So, but not because I don't want to have my hands in there, because they're clean, but it's because if I have an emergency, I need to be able to get the dough off my hands fast. So you got to think ahead when you got parrots, right? But that's a good point, Eleanor. Yeah. Cooking I'm glad I'm a cook, because these guys are really tough. Somebody had asked me about that through our website. I can't seem to get my bird to eat pellets. Well, it's going to take time on the pellets thing, but you could try putting things over the pellets, mixing stuff on the pellets, covering them with a sauce of some kind, whatever it takes to get them slightly under. And it may go on. It took this one up here 2.5 years to actually eat the pellets. I got her to eat the muffins. At the time I was making not just birdie bread, but I was actually making muffins. Birdie bread's a little easier making it in 9x13 pan, but 2 9x13 pans. And I've been cooking so long, I don't have the problems that other people have. You cook it, and then well, how am I going to cut it up? Well, if you properly grease the pan, you put something under it, usually another pan or a cutting board or something like that, and you flip it over. And or if I just take them and go wham, so it all comes out at once, so it doesn't stick. So I flip them fast in midair. I don't even put it underneath and flip it. I just do it quick. Or somebody else might do that and it'll land on the floor, but
that's the risk you gotta take.
I got a kick out of somebody too. They like toast too, so if I make good toast for them, I give them that. Or there are a few varieties that you can buy in the store, like Ezekiel bread's pretty good for them, that kind of thing. But I finally got, after years, I finally got a toaster. And the one thing they said on Amazon is that somebody said they didn't like the toaster because the toast would fly out of the toaster when it was done. Literally throw the toast. And I'm thinking, what are you doing, Wonder Bread? If you have real bread,
light as a feather.
Yeah, your real bread is heavy. It doesn't throw real bread out. But if you're using Wonder Bread, yeah, you could stand there and try to catch it. It would probably have Snowball try to catch it.
And then when they land on the floor, Snowball will go round them up and drop them at your feet, Don.
Yeah.
That's I just had to laugh because I don't like bread that isn't heavy. It doesn't have some substance to it. So those of you living in Europe don't know what we're talking about. You probably don't have any bread over there that's made like fluffy air, but
oh yeah, speaking for the UK, at least we've got bread like that. It's not as bad as American bread, but it's close.
Yeah, I had a friend who's from Siberia, and when he came to the United States for a visit. He was in a grocery store and he reached down to grab a bread and he put his hand right through the bag. It was Wonder Bread, and he said, as long as I live in the United States, I bake my own bread. Don't put your hand through bread.
Can't blame him there.
No.
Oh, Pippa is looking out. She's saying, I want out. No, it looks more like she's watching Snowball.
Yes. Leave him alone. What is your problem? Snowball, don't climb on that cage. Snowball.
Is he now climbing on Pip's cage?
Well, that's not going to go well.
No. Come on, Snowball. Climb somewhere else. Maybe on Sugar's perch or so. Stoke him.
When this is over, see what I got to deal with.
Yeah. Oh my, they know the stream is soon over. Jasmine starts to stretch. It's so fun how they all come to life suddenly.
It is insane how they do that. And they
got a good sense of timing.
It doesn't matter when I bring them in. If I bring them in an hour before the meeting, or 15 minutes before the meeting, or 2 hours before the meeting, doesn't matter. They might be busy until the meeting comes, and then when the meeting gets here, we're just going to sit here and look at it.
So Jocelyn Prickle just joined us and saying hi, Dawn.
Hi, Jocelyn. Unfortunately, we're just about to close her down, but you can watch the rerun.
Yeah, there'll be a replay on YouTube.
No ball. No bird.
He's a good boy.
Yeah, I'm still.
I
apologize for not putting up too many videos because I'm still working on my online business. So.
Oh, that's okay. You do what you need to do.
We need to bring in more money, and we just aren't getting enough in the way of donations. So we can go another 4 months, 5 months, and then we're going to start hurting. So can't have that. So I'm going to start doing an online business, right? Are you going to help me with that? You can if you want to.
It's gonna send those birdies
Yeah, I
down
think
the
that's a
coal mines.
great idea.
Sugar will be
What do
out
you-
on her e-bike delivering door to door.
Yeah, that's the fact.
Oh my gosh, that'd be cute.
You can't
Mm.
imagine a worse delivery driver than Sugar, though.
Sugar, you hear what they're saying about you.
I'm
should
not
take-
sure. I've never thought about Sugar as a driver, but when you mention it, I think she rather uses the bus.
She'd take really long to get to all her deliveries, so she'd miss all of her deadlines. And then when she got to the house, she'd just whine at the people for ages and not leave.
Mm.
Sounds about
Well,
right.
if Snowball was doing the deliveries, it'd be like, well, "Where's my delivery?" Well, right on top of Lorelei's cage.
Mm.
Oh, Snowball would be the one that would yeet like a TV over a really high fence and be like, "Yes, delivery accomplished."
I
Well,
can
thank
see
you
it.
all for being here. Thank you for being here. We'll see you on Wednesday, and I'm going to try to get at least a couple of videos out this week. That's another thing too. The YouTube is they've got it now where no matter what you do, you're getting less and less money. Last year, with the production of videos I was doing, let's say a week ago, would have brought in about $2,000 a year, and now we're sitting at roughly $700 a year. And you know that means the shareholders are getting more money, and people who are doing the work are getting less. So
Oh, yeah, it's terrible.
That seems to be everywhere right now. Yeah.
well, the key is you can't base everything on something like that. You can't base your income on something. And there's a lot of people who've done that. They base their income on YouTube, and you can't do it because they're going to do whatever they're going to do to make their money, and they don't really care about you. They just want you to do something so they can make money. So you need to do something where you're putting out value. You know,
Who
preferably
knows,
something
maybe
where
when YouTube really starts to completely fail, that a lot of these content creators actually manage to build up something together, new platform.
Well, there's lots of platforms out there. Rumble's a good one. I mean, I have a feeling that platform is going to grow. I know as YouTube has been throwing people off for various reasons here and there, and they end up on Rumble. So, and that when that service started, it was animal videos almost exclusively. And so it may end up being that again. Who knows? But thinking about starting to put up our videos there, but I have such a slow connection here. Uploading videos of any length is difficult, but not complaining. It's just the way it is. I'm used to having bandwidth, about a gigabyte bandwidth, and here I have 40 megabits upload. So I suppose I could find it. There's an internet cafe in Parrot, but if there is, they probably have some bandwidth. I could go sit there for an hour and upload a whole bunch of videos.
Always, we are going to open the bird cafe.
That would be fun. A bird cafe would be great. Oh, Lucy does this every time you go to pet her and she acts like it's the end of the world. I'm petting you. I'm petting you. I'm just petting you. Yes, I know you like to be petted, but you get scared the first time I touch you. You're just a kiddish little bird, but you're cute. Well, thanks for coming, guys. We'll see you on Wednesday. And
thanks for the stream, Don.
Make some noodles for your birds, huh?
Thanks, Don. Thanks, Amy and Eleanor. And see you, Extended Flock fam.
Yes, thanks,
Aaron.
Amy, Eleanor, and Aaron. Thank you all for being here and moderating. Much appreciated. Isn't it?
Anytime.
Snowball says, yep.
Yay.